This is just a way.
Sorry.
This is just a way. You know, it's important to realise that these are just variations. There's lots of other people and different ways of doing this. So remember with your hyperfix, if you fold it in half and slide your fingers down, it's less likely to wrinkle and become an issue. If you are worried about it, fold the paper down like that. You make a handy little anchor. We've got our target area. And we stick that down and over we go. It's Jake making a nuisance of himself. Can't beat him, you join him. Alrighty, so we stick it on the outside there. We get to just shy of where the centre is. Get a hand and we squeeze the skin up, we lift it up, and that'll cause some lovely wrinkles, and we pull it down reasonably firm. Now we haven't gone all the way around, so we're not going to cut the blood off. There's not a lot of arteries and veins on the front there, and you can see a few wrinkles there already, so it's nice and firm. And we've kept it well off the kneecap, so she can still bend her knee and run with abandon. Run, Forrest, run. Do you know they weren't going to make that movie? And then we just overlap it and go down a bit.
Surely there's a punchline
And what?
to the Forrest Gump reference.
No, seriously, but truly, they weren't going to make it. They didn't want to take the risk and pay Tom Hanks his $10 or $15 million fee, thinking that it could be a buster, because the producer's exact words were, nobody wants to, hear about a bloke sitting on a park bench talking about his life. It's going to be the worst movie of all time. And Hanks said, okay, well, don't pay me. I'll just take a percentage. And I think he walked away with $60 million. He did that with 3 movies in a row. Messed with the producer's head. He did that with Apollo, was it 13 or 11?
Yeah, Apollo 13.
Apollo 13. He did that with Apollo 13. That was a $40 million payday. Thanks for coming. He did it with Forrest Gump. And he did it with Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. So when it came to doing Castaway, they said, no, you've got the Midas touch, but even that's not going to work. So he actually paid for that himself. That entirely came out of his back pocket. And he walked away with a $100 million profit. So I think last I heard Hanks is worth about $300 million. So that's good for Osgood Schlatters. Now when we talk about severs, we'll change feet. So with severs, so the idea of severs is usually it's heel pain, and usually it's on the sides. You will feel it at the back a bit. If it's Achilles problem, they'll be sore, more in that back area. A lot of people will, we had a classic in the other day, 10-year-old boy, and he was told he had plantar fasciitis. 10-year-old boys don't tend to get plantar fasciitis, but we happened to give him a bit of a squeeze there, and he tried to bite me. So we kind of figured it's probably more severs. So what you do with severs, you can put the brown directly on the skin, that's okay, but if you want it to last a few days and not irritate the skin and allow them to shower, and when you're dealing with feet, you really want them to shower. Where's that for? Yeah, we do, don't we? Oh, dear. Now somebody passed me some of the thinner hyperfix, if that's okay. Great, thanks boss. So we just cover the bits we want. And I say, there's a ton of different ways of doing this particular one. If we had the time, we'd plumb the depths of our podiatry friend. We'll look all over tonight. So we're just going to capture the back of that heel.
What have they done to themselves for you to do this?
They usually have a bit of a growing pain in there. There's actually a little growth plate in the heel bone.
So it's not an injury, it's just a...
It's that age group. It's usually sort of 7 to 14. They're doing a lot of running around. Often they're a fairly heavy heel striker. They're the sort of kid that when you hear them coming down the hallway, They might weigh 30, 40 kilos ring and wreck, but they sound like a herd of hippos, you know? Those sort of kids. And when they run, they sort of, you know, they might be fast, but they just... So from a physio point of view, we work a lot on shock absorption with them and how they land and their movement. But, you know, for your purposes, they'll just have a sore heel. Yeah. And the classic management from usually the medical fraternity is just stop sport, just rest it until you stop growing. And so mum and dad have this 12-year-old that's climbing the walls and, you know. So to prevent certain death in the family, you see if you can sort of help them to do it. Give them hope, that's right, and then dash it away. So I've just started that on the top on the outside, gone around, not too much tension, because with this what happens is when they put the body weight on and the arch spreads, that's where the tension comes in. The biggest mistake anybody makes with this is they put the tape on too tight to begin with. That's the biggest mistake we make with this. So if in doubt, make it looser to begin with. Also, I try not to have the tape touch at the top. So if the foot expands a bit and swells a bit as they exercise, the tape will allow that to happen. It's those little things that can make the difference between them leaving it on for a whole game or a whole day and them going, get this off of me now. And depending on the length of the hoof, depends on how many there you go. So, had an 11-year-old girl in yesterday who takes size 11 women's shoes. Yeah. She's well grounded. Thank you. No, seriously, sure she was. Yep, she's going to grow into those paws. And then often these bits can flake off and get in your way. So I put a little bit of a patch over the top. You could use Hyperfix if you wanted to. Right, so have a stand on that. That's also not a bad way to help with any kind of archy type pain. Alright? Woohoo! A little bit of phone reach. Okay, Achilles.